I'm joined by Amir Tibon, senior reporter for the Israeli newspaper Haaretz. Amir, thanks so much for being here. President Biden urged Prime Minister Netanyahu to wait to try and compromise on this. He didn't. These protests are really growing.
Yes, hi, Elizabeth. It's true that President Biden asked Prime Minister Netanyahu several times not to go forward with this legislation that dramatically changes the balance of power between the authorities in Israel without reaching a wider consensus. But I want to say something. President Biden has not been alone in urging Netanyahu to seek consensus. That is also true of Israeli President Isaac Herzog, who was in Washington last week and spoke before the U.S. Congress and has made a great effort to try to find some kind of an agreement. And it's also true of the heads of the security establishment in Israel, including Netanyahu's own defense minister, who pleaded with him today before the vote to delay it by a few days and try to find compromise. But the problem was Netanyahu's other political partners, the different far-right, ultra-religious parties within his coalition, vetoed any attempt for compromise and told him, if you don't pass this very controversial legislation that weakens the Supreme Court as we wrote it, we will bring down your government. And eventually, in the fight between Biden and the defense establishment and Israeli president and his far-right allies, he chose their side.
This has real implications for Israel's security. Israel is the United States' closest ally in the Middle East. Israeli pilots and soldiers have threatened to refuse to work if this referendum was passed. And if that happens, if they refuse to go to work, what happens to Israel's security and defense?
That's a very important question. I want to clarify that we're not talking as of now. It could get there, but as of now, we're not talking about people who are military members who, have a military career and are refusing to show to work. We're talking about reservists, people who have their own civilian career, but do reserve service in the Israeli military. Pilots, for example, some of them have to train as much as once a week to stay in operational capacity. And these people are now saying we will no longer show up for reserve duty because we signed a contract with a Jewish democratic state of Israel, and they believe this legislation weakens the democratic aspect of Israel significantly. And if hundreds of them actually follow through with this threat, we will find ourselves in a situation where the Israeli military loses its readiness for war. This is a very serious situation. It also impacts U.S. national security interests. And this is a great source of concern for the military leadership in Israel that has raised all the red flags in the last few days before the government. But again, the politics of the matter has overcome the national security interests, at least this time.
Amir, this is all a result of a real division between secular Israelis and the ultra-Orthodox. The ultra-Orthodox want a permanent exemption, for example, from serving in the military, which every Israeli, man and woman, has to do. They want to pass religious laws that might, for example, prevent men and women from sitting together on public transportation. Half of all ultra-Orthodox men don't work. They study the Talmud. They rely on government subsidies to live. Many have very little traditional education. How is this going over with secular Israelis who do work and do pay taxes and do serve in the military?
Well, Elizabeth, this is one of the most important dividing lines that we're seeing in our society right now. And I have to say, I have a lot of respect for the ultra-Orthodox community in Israel, and I think it's very important for us as a country to bring them more into the modern Israeli economy and to bring them more into even the military in the places where we can do it. But the political divide right now between their political representatives who are fighting, again, for these issues you mentioned, military exemption, and a private education system funded by the state where they don't teach mathematics, don't teach English, don't teach science, is a huge long-term problem for the state of Israel. And for the population here that does serve and does pay taxes, and at the same time is looking now at a government that is trying to weaken the Supreme Court, which in Israel is the most important institution in protecting the civil rights of Israelis, all of that put together is a recipe for a social explosion. And I have to say, when we're speaking now, it's late here in Israel. Still, there are huge protests out in the streets. People are very angry. And if these issues don't get resolved in a way that is more
Based on consensus, we are heading down a very dangerous path for the state of Israel. Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.